base. Yes, yes.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score. Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Ready.
Check out.
Look, squeeze. Shoot.
Back to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 6-yard line.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Back to throw, Watson. Being chased out left. And this will be a touchdown. Deshaun Watson, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Texans push further out in front.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
2nd and 5. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
58 is the mic. Go 58 is the mic. Hey, come on now.
Come on.
They'll look to throw here. Trying to lay one up deep. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Open man is Kirk, complete. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 43.
1st down, Raiders.
Ready, break.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43.
Check 13. Check 13.
Hit it.
And to give this time to the tailback. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the Texans.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
2nd and 4. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Cleveland Farrell picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
He's going to rifle one deep left side, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A good starting spot for the Raiders as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll drop to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them, ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
58, come on. 58, come on. Coming, baby, I'm coming, baby.
Look at me. Zipper. Shoot.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
At their own 22-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one good for 37 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On first down, they'll stay with Mack on the ground. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
He's brought down at the 39.
From the 39, Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. 3rd and long, it's Watson. They'll run the screen with Mack. Room here to run. 20. A gain of 32 that time.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. To throw is Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans push further out in front.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Lutz with the extra point. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that. They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Got it.
55. Check 55. Mike.
Hey!
Watch the pass. Here we go.
Ready?
And to give this time to the tailback. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down, as bad as you can be, 0 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Back to throw here. And that is incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And able to find Kirk complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 35-yard line. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
At the 30-yard line.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. He'll look to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Broken tackle.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Watson now to throw. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Here's Marlon Mack. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the 1st down. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustain. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Ready. 70, Indy.
Watch a slant. Watch a slant. Watch a slant.
Looking to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Watson off play action. Throw left side complete. That's Person. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
Here we go, set. Hey, Sam off. 90 Wolf. Out, 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 out. Ready, ready.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on fourth down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this defense will take over right at midfield. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Throwing now, Watson. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. A give, running right is Mack. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, Ken.